everyone. Welcome again to our customer service lunch hour spills. And this week question we have, do you think if an employee receives bad news or unpleasant news that it should reflect in the way they deliver customer service? This week's guest we have none other than the famous Charles Hyatt the second. The founder, not co, the founder of Good News Jamaica. Thank you so much, Mr. Hyatt, for being on our customer service lunch hour skills today.
Thanks, Peter Gay, for having me. It is my pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. So the question goes to you. Do you think if an employee receives bad news or unpleasant news that it should reflect in the way they deliver customer service?
I think it's important to be unorthodox with my answer.
Okay.
So I want to ask a question
Sure.
to answer your question.
Sure.
Do you think if the customer service agent got good news that they should treat their customer better?
That's a good question, but I will answer that later. You guys think about it, and we will continue to the question and get back to it.
So my answer is no,
Okay.
because you are the first point of contact of your company or of the services you're providing or the product you're providing to the customer, right? So that experience that the customer has with the first point of contact should be one that is empowering
Yes.
and safe,
Right.
right? So if I'm calling with a problem and you have a problem, then I am going to experience your problem.
Right, right.
Right? And if I'm calling with an issue and you're so happy, you're elated, everything is great for you, then I'm going to think that something is wrong with me. So,
Yeah.
so you have to, as a customer service agent, be consistent across everything.
Right.
Not saying you can't be jovial when you're talking to a customer, but there's a time and a place for everything.
Right, that's true.
And this is where it is important when the company itself heavily invest in training customer service, because the human interaction is the most important part of any business.
Yes.
And if your frontline staff don't get that right, you've lost business.
Yes.
So that's my answer. No, I don't think so.
Thank you so much. You have said some key things. It's training. Management is obligated or should ensure that all frontline customer service agents are trained in all areas of customer service. This will help them to control if there's any bad energy on their end, so it doesn't portray or it doesn't affect the deliverance of customer service.
You know, it also gives an opportunity for a customer uh, to show uniformity, because if everyone is trained in the same way and everyone understands that execution has to be done in the same way, then there is uniformity and you don't have to worry about the ups and the downs.
Yes, yes. I think also, continue from what you just said, that if your coworker is unable to handle their bad news, at least that person can continue on the same level of delivering customer service. It's not going to be saying, the customer may say, okay, so hold on one day or the one day.
Right.
It
shouldn't
on
fluctuate.
one level. Right.
It shouldn't fluctuate.
Right.
It should be consistent.
Right, right. So that's very important too. I want to throw something at you. All right, so persons who sell, vendors, right? Is that whether they're selling on the sidewalk or they're selling by the stoplight, where the case may be, they are giving a product, they're selling a product. So in that essence, you're expecting them to deliver some form of customer service, right? Because we are the customers who are buying from them. I came across a vendor, and the first thing I saw was a spliff. First thing that came to my mind, why have a spliff and him selling goods? I'm not going to purchase that. I'm not going to purchase anything from him, because appearance to me is one of the key things. I'm not being judgmental, but
Well, okay, so as a customer,
mm-hmm,
it doesn't matter if you're judgmental. As a matter of fact, every company
mm-hmm.
or person providing a service or a product should expect that their customer is going to be judgmental.
So there are high expectations.
Right. And
Right.
so the thing is that the company or the individual, knows their clientele, or they should know their clientele.
Mm-hmm.
They know who they want to sell to.
Okay.
So maybe that person who was selling is comfortable because that person knows
Who their
that
clients are.
whoever's whoever's been buying from them all that time is comfortable with
Right.
him or her having a spliff in their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if the person didn't have a spliff in their mouth, he might have he or
One a
she might
customer,
have won
another
a
one.
customer.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But that might not be important to that person because the spliff might be advertising something else that they're selling,
That's
right?
true.
Whether it's Whistler or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the important thing for companies to understand is the language of their customers,
Okay.
right?
Key
And
thing. Mm-hmm.
it's imperative that that language translates to sales, translates to loyalty,
Yes.
translates to retention of the
Yes.
customers.
Mm-hmm.
So, for any customer service agent, they need to be able to, through training, read the customer and adjust themselves based on that. Now, we're talking about consistency.
Yes.
The language, the tone,
Mm-hmm.
and the processes need to be the same
Same.
across the board, right? But a customer service agent must be flexible based on the energy that they're
That it gets
getting.
from the customer. Right. That is true.
Now, it's important to point out
Mm-hmm.
that we're all humans, we're not
Mm-hmm.
robots.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is that the customer service agent is in a situation where they're feeling low, for whatever reason it is, whether they receive bad news or the customer on the other end is being belligerent,
Mm-hmm.
that customer service agent, based on company policy, should have an out,
Yes.
should have a pause clause, as I'd like to call it,
Yes.
right? Because there should be uh, policy in the company that says if you meet upon a situation that you can no longer handle in a professional way,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
then you need to be able to remove yourself from that situation in a professional manner
Mm-hmm.
and get the help that you need so that the customer receives what they are looking for.
I agree with that, Mr. Hyatt. I completely agree with that. And reason being is that I found myself in a situation where I had received bad news and I thought I was capable of continuing to deliver top-notch customer service. However, had a customer beside me and something just crumbled all over and I had to ask the customer to excuse me please, and I had to step away and ask somebody to step in for me because I didn't want to, as you said, to give off that same energy
Right.
to the
And you see,
customer.
the thing is that what you did was the right way. You, in a professional manner, removed yourself from the situation so that you were not then now spilling that over to the customer. Because the
Right.
next thing you know, the customer, yeah, all right, what's
Mm-hmm.
wrong with you? And then they
Mm-hmm.
receive news that
Mm-hmm.
you just received, and you don't know who they know, and you don't know how that news is going to
That
impact
is
them,
true. Yes.
and that's never what you want to do.
Right.
So you did the
Right.
right thing by removing yourself from the situation and asking for help to
Right.
come and help you. So
Mm-hmm.
that was the right thing to do.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hyatt. So to wrap up things, the question for today: do you think if an employee receives bad news or unpleasant news that it should reflect in the way they deliver customer service? Answer to that: no. Customer service should be on all boards, same level, whether you receive good or bad news. you should be delivering top-notch customer service. And if it's a case that you are unable to compose yourself in a situation when you have a customer, seek assistance, speak with your manager, as you said, company policies, yes, and take yourself away from that situation. Yes. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today on our customer service lunch hour spills. I hope you had taken down some notes because some key things were said today, Mr. Hyatt. Thank you so much for pointing them out because some of them I didn't know myself. Thank you, but we're all here to learn. And stay tuned. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, give your feedback, and see you soon. Thank you so much again. Bye.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, Pete, again.
You're most welcome. Thank you too.